welcome back to Big Girl Hunters. It's a very special episode because I'm back doing some proper carping. This is the start of my new campaign, so it'll be new campaign or campaign session 1, 2015 campaign session 1, whatever you want to call it. So I'm very, very excited to be here. It is the 15th and I'm down here ready. I'm bivvied up. Obviously I'm not fishing because the season hasn't started, but I'm all clipped up and I'm waiting to cast out at 12. So I haven't done this for ages, so this is what's going to go out there. This is only a 2-rod rule lake, so 2 rods. It's only a small lake. It's probably 6-7 acres maybe, probably not even that. So on there we've got the old solid bag, but I'll explain why I've done that. Nice bit of red core there, nice length because it's only little chucks. This is 8.5 wraps and the other one is 14.25. Anyway, so yeah, got a mixed size of pellet in there along with 2 grains of, and a nice little rig. And because that's basically what I've been doing. This lake has been obviously off season. It's quite close to my house. It's quite a tough lake. I think there's only, I hear there's only 15 to 20 actual carp in here. Some really nice ones. Not the huge fish. There's a couple that go to 30, which is obviously the target. I've got my main target, which is always fun. It's not always about size. Fishing wise it is quite quiet, but public wise it's insanely busy. Like I came here an hour ago, just before I got set up, there was some chavish type lads and they were swimming in the actual lake. It's 40 foot deep. I mean, I would never swim in this lake, to be honest. Don't advise it, but you know, it's public, people dog walking, the dog's always splashing in there, so it can be a bit of a nightmare that way. Give and take. So you don't see too many anglers on here because it is quite tough and it's quite hard to get a ticket on here. So what I've been doing, this was a perfect opportunity. I've kept it quite quiet, but I've been baiting for nearly 2 months. So what I do when I do a baiting campaign is the first month, obviously leading up to when I'm fishing, I come once a week, put in about 2 kilos of boilie, been putting nutcrackers, mixes 14s and 18s. I basically bait along the whole side, along the whole side of the lake where I'm fishing, not just the spots, but all along here, starting pretty much from here, baiting all along here, all the way along to there. So that's what I do, and that's just basically what that is. That's just your simple nutcracker, plain by itself, just out there, going in there once a week. And then on the next month, I go twice a week, and I start to still again 2 kilos. So it's a lot of bait. I've done a lot of bait. 2 kilos. The good thing about the nutcracker is it's so soft. There's lots of tension and roach and all sorts of stuff. 24 hours it goes soft and the other fish will have it. So I have no problem with putting in quite a bit of bait. Like I say, there's not that many fish in here. So if there's a lot more fish and big fish, you're looking at, I'll probably be putting 4 kilos at a time. But 2 kilos is more than enough, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit too much, but I wanted to get them on it. So what I do, and I start to ease up on just do the odd one along the spots, along this end of the lake, and put most of the bait on my 2 spots. So then it's creating a pattern. So like I said, the odd one, see if I can get this right. So along here, the odd one, going along here, and then if you see, so my left hand spot is just off those lilies. Like I say, it's 40 foot deep, this lake in the middle, which is here. And those the actual poles are actual BT telegraph poles, where this used to be a big old pit, like. So yeah, just off that spot, and it's about, it just margins off to about 8 foot, perfect depth. So yeah, again, concentrating on that lilies, and then popping the odd boilie along there, and then my other spot is back here. Say round about in between. Wait, if we go back a little bit, in between there and there, all along there, it's like a little bay bit. So put the boilies there. So there's my 2 spots. Yeah, so that, like I say, boilies go there, and then sort of the second week in the second month, I will literally just be putting boilies on them spots. So I just came down, put the boilies on, just darting them around the two rods. You know, coming down, checking. You know, I've come down and I've seen fish over this spot regularly, so it's been good. You know, it is looking good. Like, the hard work is looking like it could pay off, but then again, you still got to catch them, which is the hard part. So then what I do for the last week is, this is what I do. So I start, because it's quite snaggy in this lake, and you know, it's a public, like I say, public can come here, so it could be anything on the bottom. I've heard stories of cars, BMXs, microwaves, you name it, being raked out of here, and they've dragged cars out of it and all sorts. So, you know, there's a bit of weed and there is a bit of weed in this lake, and lilies and all sorts. So what I do for the last week is I come down every night and I put out a completely different bait, a mix, like a complete spod mix, particle type mix. So in the mix was hemp and my particle mix, ground bait, micro pellets, slightly bigger pellets, and then a handful of boilies to keep. And my thinking behind that is, and it does sound like a lot coming down baiting, and I'm only putting, I'd say, probably not even, just a few handfuls a day. You know, and I was getting to the point where I was putting it out, and my thinking behind this is just to get the small fish to clean off your spots, and it has worked. You know, when I'm casting out feeding a drop, I'm getting cracks. The bottom's very sandy, but I found some harder spots, which is why I'm fishing on there. Before I came down and leaded about, similar to this, but yeah, it's just to get them little fish cleaning off your spots, and it has worked. And I got to the point where, sort of, when I put in, not yesterday, day before, and day before, I'm putting it in there. As soon as I'm putting it in, I'm getting fizzes. So they were up. They knew it was there. They knew it was feeding time. They had no problem. And I came a few days ago, about 4 days ago, I came down and saw one of the big girls, one of the big mirrors, cruising right over the spot. So that's, you know, good thinking. Like I say, they've had a lot of bait. Now I'm here. I popped in literally maybe 6 boilies over each spot, just enough to get a bite. So, you know, go heavy up to it. And then once you're fishing, really the only baits out there, the most attractive things out there are your hook baits, and that's the thinking of it. And this is when, like I say, 40 foot deep, snaggy, 15-20 fish, you know, hard conditions. Like this lake, a lot of people know it to be quite hard, but, you know, totally opposite from the last place I was fishing, 30 odd acres, you know, super pressured, wily old ringwood carp that, you know, people fishing for them in every swim 24/7, even on New Year's, Christmas, you name it. And you know, quite a few more fish, but, you know, long sharks, very difficult, very, and, you know, a lot of people know that lake to be, I wouldn't say it's never easy, but, you know, the fish are catchable. And it used to be back in the day, like a lot of lakes, you know, you get some like decent hits, which you can still do on that old lake. But like I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it in detail further on in the session, where the angling, it's been the toughest angling situation I've ever come across with people and all sorts of stuff, but we'll talk about that another time. This is when all the baiting, all the hard work's done, this is when carp fishing can be fun, and not fun, but easy. Because, you know, they've eaten you, I know they're eating the bait, all the hard work's been done, you know, hopefully I'll be rewarded from it. You know, it might not pay off, and it might, you know, they might be full up. Oh, I doubt it this time of year, but, you know, it's probably still gonna be hard to catch. I'm gonna have to work out, you know, rigs, baits, all the rest of it, all the stuff you normally have to do. But, you know, the spots are primed, and these videos aren't going out until I've caught a few off the off the spot, that's for sure. So you'll be seeing this. If you've seen this now, it means I've caught one. Like I said, there's a lot of tension here as well. It'd be nice to get amongst some of the bigger ones, big perch, pike, all sorts of bits of gear in here. Obviously I'm after the carp. Absolute beauties in here. And yeah, like I say, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait to put all my efforts into here. It's closer to home. You can nip down maybe in the evenings, do a little bit of just evening sessions. All sorts of possibilities are endless. So the only downside is, like when I first got here, Chav swimming in the lake, arguing with me about fishing and the dog swimming in the lake, blah blah blah. And then they went an hour later. A load of like emo kids turned up and started like screaming and shouting, sitting on the other side of the beach bit, being all stupid. So you've got that side. Like I say, I don't own the lake. People are more than free, welcome to walk around. I just ask for nothing but respect, and I respect everyone. And yeah, so awesome. Like I said, it's got my nice big powerful head torch. I'm clipped up, baits out, ready to go. It's now, I mean, it's still bloody light. What is it? It's now 9:15, and it's still super light. And yeah, 12 o'clock we'll be out. I hope I'll get one in the night and we'll show you it in the morning. Tight lines. Because of these little bubbles. I mean, this one, a nice look at this is the biggest I've had. I had a 512 and a 6.2, I think. I think this is the 5th or 6th one I've had all night. I've had these, so I'm going to have to change the hook bait. I'm fishing a 14 tipped with a grain of maize. It's not even a corn grain of maize, so I'll have to swap it round to a pop-up or something. So there we are. Nice fish, but kept me up all night. Best night tense fishing I've had for a while. I only caught one last year, I think. One proper one. Good morning, welcome back to Big Girl Hunters. First morning on the new campaign. It is 6:35. It's been light for hours. 6:35, 16th of June. Now, it hasn't quite gone to plan. I've seen carp boshing over my spot, but I've been up all night catching tench. I've had 6 since 12, so what does that make it? So that's nearly 1 an hour. And every sort of time I was drifting off, it was ripping back off again. And I changed the hook. I started off with 2 grains of plastic maize, and then I went to 14 tipped with the maize, which for the lake I've been fishing recently, that's big, more than big enough. And then I changed to an 18 tipped with a bit of maize, and they're still taking it. Beautiful fish. I've had a 5, 12 and a 6.2. Cracking fish, can't complain with that. In the night, shame it went in the day. I'm never going to sack a tench, it's not a double, but you shouldn't really sack tench anyway, to be honest. You can't really do much good night footage, so hopefully I've swapped round to hinge stiff rigs now to escape them, the pop-ups and all the rest of it. So it's just, not negative. I'm not feeling negative or anything. Quite happy. It's the best night's tench fishing I've had for a long time. I do love tench. Probably my second favourite species. I spent a lot of my childhood trying to catch them. Those wily old things. And it seems like there's quite a lot of them in here. So it's a treat for me, really. Do love a tinker. And yeah, so they're out. A few boilies over the top again, and we'll see what happens here for a couple of nights. So, like I said, casting out of 12 ain't ideal. The fact that I've had 6 tench already it's looking positive. I'd say it's more on the positive side than negative, and hopefully I can scope out and get my first carp of the year out of this water, and I'll be buzzing. Hopefully a good one. Tobbs is down tonight doing it, so it'd be cool. I haven't fished with him for a while, so it'd be cool just to and obviously I'm on this left side, he's on the right side. We're trying to scope him out. I mean, I still think they are out of a bottom corner, or there is fish down on my side 100%. The amount of bait I've been putting in recently, so it's just a matter of fact of catching them. All the fish around the UK at the moment have been quite. The lake, the lake you have seen me fishing in my last campaign, is fishing terrible at the moment. Like, fish are just so not, they're just, I don't know, being weird, not coming out, being very spooky. Anyway, I'll give you a look at the lake this morning. It looks absolutely glorious. I'll give you a little view. It's my end of the lake. That's where I've been having all the tench off, just off the lilies. And the other rod is back there. Set just tucked in that back, about half a rod length away from that margin. Back there. Yes, it's looking glorious this morning. Beautiful place down here. But look, so the story for the right hand rod is, you know, nothing, no touches. I had a few liners on it yesterday, last night, tench probably, or roaching that in the margin, water's as clear as you like, and I thought it was snagged up, and then it started to budge. Anyway, I brought it in, and it was I was hooked on the she. Oh, fish crashing back in. That was right back there. Carp boshing out right there, right close to my spot, so good news. Anyway, yeah, onto this big bloody bucket thing. Pulled that up, so that was never going to do a bite. It was hooked on that all night, and that's what this lake's like, because it's public. There's all sorts of stuff in here, so you know, it will be trial and error. There will be some moments like that. It's just, so it makes it even more special. Let's see if we can get one of these beauties out today. Oh. Look how fat it is. It's hard to show this on this video, how fat these fish are. Hairs everywhere. But there we go, look at that. £8.5. Beautiful English tench. I mean, you see the width of these things. There it is. Let's put it back. Right guys, bit out of breath. I have just, what a way to start off the campaign. And I've nailed one of the 30s. £32.7 of pure English common. Oh Jesus, she's lively. I'm going to have to get someone to help me do this on these photos. See if I can hoist her up for you first. She's lively. She's a big unit. Oh, there she is. Oh, come on girl, calm down. It's been a while since I've hoisted a 30. Well, a few months. There she is. £32, 7 ounces. Pure English. Hardly ever caught. Clear water. Absolutely over the moon with this. Oh, I'll show you the other side. Oh. There it is. £32, 7 ounces. Nailed on a multi-rig. Nutcracker corporal. Over months of pre-baiting on the nutcracker, and this is my reward. Beautiful. Just had one of the targets on the first day. Lucky for me, my mate Lee's popped down to help me record it and photo it and get it back, and it's the common. £32.7. There we go. Absolute beauty. Whew. There it is. Hehe. She's going to go soon. We'll be cooking already.
Yes.
Oh.
Well done, mate. Oh.
Gonna fall in there. Oh, it literally just slopes off down there. It's like 30. Bang. Oh. Cheers, man.
Cracking
Nice
fish.
So I've come round the bait up, and there's a fish on the spot. Can't quite see which one it is, but it's not a monster. I think it's sus me. There's one in the water. Duck, look. Two best friends. Jesus, look at the bend in that rod. Snag.
Is that the margin one you just baited?
No, it's the one back there, yeah. See if the top will swim out.
It's for a snagged.
Yeah, no, it's proper snagged, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Right, so you may be wondering why you're not seeing me hoisting up a fish when I was playing that one, and that's because it done me in the snag. Absolutely gutted. It would have been the second carp of the day, and I'm not going to lie, it was a decent fish. We both knew that. Basically what happened is I'm fishing locked up, not even that far, I'm not right next to the snag, but it's nearish the snag. Anyway, I got on the rod quick, hit into it, started walking back, started gaining line on it, and then it just basically flat rodded me, and I couldn't, suppose those rods, maybe it wouldn't have happened if I had a higher one to get a high level. You just never know. The time I sort of tried to get it back in, the fish was still on. It was locked up, so it must have been round one of the logs back there or whatever. So, because there's just so many snags in it. Gutted, because it was so, you know, it was one of the better ones in here as well, and it, you know, could have been the two bigger ones in one day would have been ideal. But whether that's the way, you win some, you lose some. Pretty gutted. But it's a weird feeling because I'm so buzzing from catching the target, one of the targets, and then losing the fish. Like, oh, so it's up and down, bipolar carp fishing. But you know, you love it, you hate it sometimes, and that's the way it goes. So rod's back out now, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a bite. Let you know. Right guys, after a bit of a quiet night, and that loss of that carp last night, just put the reeled in the old pop up, whacked on the couple of grains. First thing, it's about 5 o'clock this morning. Been in the water a minute, and I've had another beautiful tinker. What a way to start the morning! Absolute beautiful fish. There it is, little gem. And off he goes. Well, good morning, welcome back. Quick update of what's been going on. It's been kind of an eventful morning. Like I said, I lost that fish last night. Was gutted about that because I was fishing really well, locked up. The rest of it anyway, it's gone. I did have a take again, a left hand rod in the lilies on the pop up. I don't know what time it was, probably 2 o'clock in the morning, and it got me snagged up. And there's another little route down there which I didn't know, and I did get the rig back, but the hook pulled after it was snagged for a while, so I was a bit gutted about that. So I have 2 lost fish. Pretty sure that fish wasn't a tench as well, but that's the way it goes. It's going to be a bit like that on here. It's very wild, it's very natural, it's very snaggy. You know, you just do your best to try and get the fish in here, you know, fish locked up, fish very strong rigs and hooks and lines, and you know, just maximise your chances. Be on the rod straight away. Literally, my rods are just right up front. I'm on them within seconds. You know, never ever leave them in and go for a walk. Obviously, always be on your rods. Even if I'm sort of just walking down the bank to see tobs, I'll bring them in. So he's just standing out there. But so far so good. I put the I rolled in the pop up and put the bit of plastic on, a little bit of PVA bag for the pellets, and had a couple of tench already this morning. So I've gone just to make me feel better, because I do love them, just to cheer me up a little bit. And you probably would have seen it. There's a video of one that we took this morning, quite a nice one. Stop weighing them now. I want to catch a lump. I'm sure there's doubles in here. It'd be nice to catch another double tench. That would be cool. There's so many of them in it. It's such a good tench water. I've not seen a water like this. It's just full of tench since like bloody Horseshoe. And it's just all getting ready. It does seem to be the more action carp wise in the day, especially in my area. The carp, there wasn't any shows last night. There were shows the night before, but it has clouded up a bit. I think the pressure's lowering, which is always good. So it's, I guess, my first proper 24 hours is gone, and we'll be going in a bit. Right guys, I'm just going to show you how to tie up the rig that I've been using to catch these rare English carp. Right, now it's a rig I've been playing around with. You would have seen me playing around with it in the videos before. It's called the multi-rig. This is my version of it. The reason why I sort of was leaning towards it is a rig that I used to use quite a few years ago, and then I've sort of moved around with this stiff hinge rig and moved back and forth between the two, but stuck with the stiff. It kind of presents. I used to use quite big choddies. Now you use really small ones, and this basically gives you that much easier. You can swap the hook round, and there's less things to go wrong. And the beauty thing of it, you can do it. I'm using a coated braid. This is like a semi-stiff type coated braid. So what the first part of it is to make your loop, and this determines how long, how high. Actually, I like mine quite low, so I do quite a small loop. Just simple overhand loop knot. Wet it. And pull down tight. Now you want to break this. You want to pull this so tight. There you go. There, you see that? It breaks, just broken the material. So that's an easy way to do it that way. Trim off this bit. Now this is the only difficult, well, it's not really difficult bit. I'm using size 6 BMG. It's the RCSR. Absolute, it's the resilient one, the RCSR. Absolute beauty of a hook. It's my favourite pop-up hook. I mean, look how sharp that is. It's just unbelievable. So the next step is actually getting it through. So you'll notice the way that the eye is, you're better off squeezing this bit. Now this is quite tricky because I'm using a £30 coated braid, but I managed to get it through relatively easy. Now next step, a lot of people like the rings. I like to use one of these micro ring swivels from BMG. I think this just gives you that extra bit of movement. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the rings, because I know plenty of people fish with them. So there we go. At this stage we're at that. So then what you do is simple. You just pull the loop over the hook. Because how stiff this material is as well, it does tend to stay, which is why I like it. It's worth the extra little fiddly bit to start getting it through. And that's pretty much it done. I like to have it just opposite the barb. Now just for the final step, that's what I like to do, is just strip that back a little bit by, I'd say, a few mil, 2-3 mil, and then I get big heavy weight shot, and I like to, what number is this? Number 0? Don't know about really. Third one across. These are some proper nice heavy ones. And I use quite a big one because I like it to be overweighted. And where you see I've made that back, where I've pulled that back, it gives something a bit harsh, a bit stronger for this to grip onto. Make sure it's fully in there. Grip that down. And that's pretty much it. I need anti-tangle sleeve. Again, depending on length. I mean, I like a slightly longer rig anyway, especially if you're fishing for decent sized fish. I suppose that's probably about 10-11 inches. Yeah, that's about right. And I do a figure of 8 loop knot. Wet it down. Pull that really, really tight. That ain't going nowhere. And I do steam this, but there's no point. I will steam this just before I cast it out. But you'll get the gist of it, so there's no point really steaming it, because you can. To be honest, it's pretty good because I've been pulling it and stretching it. So last few bits, or last bit of my favourite putty, the BMG putty. And all I do put a blob in the middle. I like quite a nice size bit, just to help it kick out. So there's the rig, and you'll see, I'll bait it up for you. So I just, because what I've been having them on the Nutcracker quarter pop-up, but I've just grabbed a little Nutcracker yellow one, just so it's nice and visual, you can see it. Bit of bait floss through the swivel. Push it down right to there. And I've been blobbing these, so one, I do two, tighten that down, and then I do one, two, makes a slightly bigger knot. Making not sure to don't pop up, and just blob it down like that, flat, you see. So that's the pop up. I've been putting a bit of foam on it. It casts out, I hit the clip, goes down, and the way it's balanced, it's critically balanced, and it just sits like that on the bottom. There it is. Tie yourself up one, go catch yourself an old carp. Right guys, sadly ending my session now. Was going to go and then come back, but I'm decided to get off. Yeah, so what's happened, I lost one this morning, it just cut off clean. But what's just happened is Toby's, well, he's actually poaching my spot. Left hand rider let him stick it down in the margin where we've been putting bait. I just really wanted him to get a fish as well. And we've been waiting all day, it's been out there, you know, half an hour before we go, it absolutely belts off. I hit into it, it's belting so hard, the line actually it was the line in the way the rod went, actually burnt my hand, which I've never had before. It's not braid, it's still mono. He got a hold of it, passed over the rod, he was getting it, it's in the lilies, he managed, because he was locked up on it, and he was walking out, and the hook snapped. And that's a quarter wide gape, so what, size 8?
Yeah.
Size
yeah.
8X, so it's one of the thick X gauge ones, because he would, and it snapped. Have you still got the rig? Have you got the rig?
Not sure if I have actually. No, I don't know if I've got it on me.
But yeah, it snapped on it, and that was about, what, 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes
Yeah.
ago. So yeah, and we're about to go, so that's it really. So it's a bit gutting to leave on a low. But, you know, it's been a good first session. One of the targets nailed. Just seen another one of the targets cruising right through the thingy, and it was, I'm pretty 100% sure now, because I've seen the orangey bit on it. It's the fish I lost last night. So at least it's still swimming around, quite heavy. There's no line in it or anything, which is pretty cool. One of the big mirrors, and yeah, so we're it's been good. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like you say, it's the amount of work that I've put coming down there, finding the fish, locating the fish, putting the bait in up to it, is obviously, it doesn't show on the camera, but I've been walking it, and the whole thing's been a bit emotional really, you know, all that hard work with bait and stuff, and I didn't want to get down there first day of the season that someone's fishing the spots, and that's just one of them things, you know, it's just one of them, the fish are all over us, so I'm like, concentrate, I'm not stop looking at the water because they're all over us, but yeah, well, cheers for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the first campaign session, and I hope this campaign's, you know, going to be as enjoyable as the last one. It looks like it's going to be. Tight lines.